DJ Rhett Podcast.
That's your mom and them.
In studio right now, Mr. Ricky Folse, a.k.a. Pitbull, right?
That's right.
Where you got that nickname from?
Well, when I was born, my parents had 40 pit bulls.
Okay.
That when I was born, my father was a martial artist. He met my mom teaching karate.
All right.
He used to jog, and he would tie one of the dogs to a wagon and pull me until the dog seen a cat one time and took off, and I went flipping in the ditch. But I was born and raised around pit bulls. When I was 14 or 13, we was in back of Devil Swamp in Thibodeau, and we had 90 pit bulls at one time.
Wow.
So I grew up around them, and then after I had my first MMA fight, no matter how much the dudes would beat on me, I kept coming and coming. It's not the smartest style of fighting, but I would take a beating and keep coming. So,
All right. So you're like Rocky. You keep hitting and you just keep coming, huh?
Yeah, no matter how ugly I would get, I would keep on coming. And they would always tell me, we see you're tough, but you need to learn how to move your head. I just moved it forward.
All right. And we got Mr. Johnny Smith with us, too, with the you got an organization that helps out veterans, too, which is why we're here today. We're going to talk about that, too. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from?
Well, I'm from Labadeville, Louisiana. I was born in New Orleans, and I started this organization here in Louisiana because I retired in 2006. But when I came here, I saw the definite need that I was doing in Chicago. I was basically raised in Chicago, Illinois. Mm-hmm. I did my schooling there, and I would come backwards and forth from Chicago to Louisiana. And my whole family has suffered through the veterans' defeat of being denied, delayed, and discouraged in the system. Mm-hmm. So I worked for the VA in 1971 in Chicago. So I started to read up on how these veterans' benefits were being given to them. And I noticed that every one of them were denied in the system.
Okay.
And that continuation of the denial goes on today. Uh-huh. And this is over 50 years ago. I went into service in 1966. I am a Vietnam-era veteran.
And thank you for your service.
And you're welcome. But there's a sacrifice to that service. And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
PTSD, homelessness, and these shut-in veterans has to be recognized through organizations like Mr. Folse is doing. Mm-hmm. We have to collaborate and come together. So my organization, American Veterans Advocacy, is a educational navigational system. Uh-huh. Then we're partnering with the public library here in Houma, Louisiana. And we have another section of a subsidiary company, which is called Vets United, mm-hmm. in which we're hoping to put together a community health care free clinic for veterans and their families. Because most of the veterans administrations have sections for the family, but they do not recognize the care of the family.
Right, right.
So we've got to make that expression.
Okay.
And that's what we're doing with the clinic.
And I was intrigued to get you guys on. I mean, I work out at the gym, Body Elite, and I see you there all the time. And we kind of, we bullshit, on the floor and everything like that. And you would tell it, I was like, God damn, man, you like really cutting up and you looking good. I'm like, you're training for something. And you were talking to me and you mentioned it about you doing this crazy, run that you're gonna, you start from New Orleans and then make your way down to Florida. Tell me a little bit about that and what inspired you to get involved in that. And because the way I'm setting it up too is my grandpa was a veteran too. He was in the Marines. He taught himself how to play the guitar. God rest his soul. He's been going for about nine years, but. He had trouble getting, the benefits that I think that you guys that serve in, for this country, you deserve. You shouldn't be put on the side, in the sidelines and waiting for this. So when I heard you do this, I was like, God, you got to come on my podcast and we got to try to drum up some type of awareness for this. So I'm glad you guys are here. So tell me about the craziness that you plan on doing pretty soon.
Ever since I was a kid, I started running, doing bike riding, stuff like that. So I used to ride from Devil Swamp to school in the morning, 8 miles in Thibodeau, mm-hmm. go to school. Then I would ride to a mechanic shop after and work, and I'd ride the bike back home in the evenings. So since
True Cajun.
Yeah, because I lived on Devil Swamp.
True coon ass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. True coon ass.
way out. Yeah, I'm so bad that my phone don't understand me half the time I talk because I sound like Coach O. Uh-huh. So I was always doing enduring stuff from my father. My father would work in the shipyard all day, and sometimes when he came back from Avondale, the traffic was too long in Raceland. So he'd jump out in his welding clothes and run 3 miles home because he didn't want to wait in traffic. Then he'd work out 2 or 3 hours in the garage. So he was my inspiration for fitness.
Right.
So what happened was I was in Thailand. I moved to Thailand in 2015 to go do some training, and I was training people there as a personal trainer and a boxing instructor.
Okay.
And I was working at a beautiful MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai resort.
So you got involved in that sport. How many
Yes.
fights you had? How many fights you've had?
I've had so many, and so many of them were like, back when I started in 2000, they wasn't even sanctioned. Like, they would put a ring up in a bar, and people drunk and everything would sign up to fight, and you'd fight until no one you beat, you lost, or you win.
So literally, I'm picturing this scene
like Tough Man.
Well, I'm picturing the scene in X-Men where I see Wolverine. He's just in that ring in that bar, and he's just drinking, and whoever wants to come fight him fights.
Yes.
That's how it was.
Yes, you signed the waiver. There was no ambulances, no blood work, no
it's
doctors.
all on you at your own risk.
You signed a paper, and man, they had guys that were so drunk they throw a punch and you move out the way, they fall.
Right.
You know, it was
rough.
You hit him in
huh?
the stomach, they throw a beer, they fly. I picked one dude. I kicked him. He fell over the ropes and onto the judges' table on beer bottles. It was.
But I guess that's where you make your name for yourself too. Sometimes you got to start at the bottom. Yeah.
The first cage fight I ever had was in the Abyss in a smoking nightclub in a 16 by 16
The
cage.
Abyss. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old. I remember walking to the cage. I was so nervous. I couldn't even hear anything anymore. I was like, and when I got in the cage, I was thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing in here? And next thing I know, he says, fight. I run at the dude, and he catches me with an elbow, busts my nose. And he's got me pinned against the cage, and I'm thinking that again, why did I do this? And then all of a sudden, I just black out and go into it. And then the referee's calling it off. I had won the fight, and when I jumped on the cage, I felt that rush from that crowd.
And you were hooked.
I was hooked.
Yeah, yeah.
But the guy that used to own Body Elite's the guy that talked me into doing it when I was young and believed in me. And
Right.
he introduced me to Darren Caroline, who was one of the most known boxers from this area. He had beat Butterbean, and Darren took me in like a son and really worked with me on and off for 20 years and never charged me a penny.
Oh, okay.
He made me tough.
So the little MMA deal right there in the little shopping center or by Burger King on the Grand Caillou Road, did you work out in there? Was that kind of like your little
I trained there in the last couple of years, but no, this was at the West Side Gym years ago.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, the bigger one, yeah.
Right, and then I would go to New Orleans for my ground game and my MMA training. But all my boxing was done in the abdominal room. In the beginning years with Darren, we'd move a couple of the pieces of weight equipment out of the way, and we would spar in there, and he would bust my nose, and the blood would fly, and I'd have to go 4-9 the walls after, because he bust. I just stuck cotton in my both
You were a
sides.
bleeder, huh?
I'd stick both sides and go back in there, and
Right.
nobody would walk in that room because blood was flying everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, but he made me tough, though. I owe a lot of my heart to Darren Caroline.
So you're training, you're getting, you're fit, you're meeting a lot of people, you're doing this CrossFit training, the MMA, doing all this stuff. How did you put it together as far as you? Now, we were talking earlier, you say you don't consider yourself a veteran, but I consider yourself, if you signed up and you did what you had to do. Tell us the story of how you became with the veterans, or you call yourself not a veteran, but
okay,
you are.
I went to basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia, and then when I got into AIT, every time we would do the marches with the heavy bags, I'd have a burning down my sciatic nerve, which technically would have been fixed by orthopedics,
Right.
but they don't do that. They send. I got an X-ray, and I actually have the same birth defect my father and my son have, where I think it's L5 and S1 are kind of sliding off of each other.
I got you.
But it's
I've
never-
had a surgery on the L5 before, just for a bulging disc.
Well, my father was working out, and when he was 36, and when he was at work first, and he was guiding a roll of wire, and when he twisted, his back popped and he fell. Well, the doctor told him to go home and rest, he'd be all right. Well, hence Rick Fit Extreme, I get it from my father. He's all or none. He couldn't sit still. Kind of like someone else y'all know,
Yeah.
right? he after the second day, he went and worked on his puncher bag, and when he threw a spinning kick, it slipped, and he had to have 4 discs removed.
Wow.
So I guess the Army was worried about that happening.
Yeah.
So I got discharged before finishing AIT.
So in the Army, I mean, I've never been in the Army, but I mean, I see it on TV. You got to really be a pure specimen. You can't have any vision problems. You can't have. I mean, you have to be in top
Not
shape.
so.
Not so much. So much. Okay, all right. But this is kind of a little
Lower
weird
back,
situation.
Lower back, neck, heart,
stuff.
head. They
Yeah.
don't really take a chance with that.
Right.
And even though I've had almost, like I said, I can't count anymore because I've had so many, but I've had almost 80 professional fights, whether it's boxing, MMA, tough man in the ballrooms.
Right.
I've had a bunch. I've had some in Thailand. And when I was in Thailand, this is where the veteran things comes up. And also, I wish I could have went and fight. I honor the guys that did so much. I feel that this might be an opportunity for me to do my part. Maybe the good Lord kept me out of that because He had this for me.
Right. To build awareness for
'Cause
what's really going on.
I'm super passionate about this.
Right.
Why go and be one man when if I could help? Even if this bike ride I help one person save their life,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm on it.
And that's why I do the videos I do. If it makes one person laugh, I did my
You
job.
got everybody laughing.
No,
So,
but I want to help you get
Right.
everybody right. So yeah,
so
definitely.
when I was in Thailand, I met two gentlemen, buddy of mine, Eric and Mike. Mike doesn't mind I speak about him. Well, we became good friends right off the bat because they were veterans, and I got mad respect for veterans. So Mike was Army, Eric was Marine. They came back a month before I did, and they came back May 2019. I came back June 2019 for a fight. Well, they were back, and they was drinking, and the PTSD was getting to them. And Mike decided to leave and go back to his home area. Well, when he did, my friend Eric stayed home, and he shut in. And he drank pretty much 3/5 of vodka a day until he poisoned himself. He was the PTSD. He didn't go get help. He shut himself in, and he gave up on life.
Right.
So when COVID hit, I had a protection, a little bit of a VIP hospitality kind of protection business around New Orleans. That all kind of went down. So I started regretting that I stayed. I wanted to go back to Thailand. And I said, you know what? After what just happened to my friend Eric and another friend of mine, John, we found out he's 35 years old, needs a heart transplant. If that don't happen soon, he's going to die. I said, let me do something to help my friends. Let me do something to help the veterans. So I came up with this idea. Instead of focusing on my negative stuff going on, let me focus on helping people.
Right.
Because my father's got 30 years sobriety in Alcoholics Anonymous. And I watched him over the last 30 years dedicate his life to helping other people. He sponsors people because he was disabled.
Right.
So all he did was help people, go out at 2 a.m, help drunks and stuff. So I said, well, I'm not in that area. How can I help people? And I said, the veterans. I got to help the veterans.
Right.
So that's where that came up, the passion. My Uncle Russell Danos from Raceland is a Purple Heart and I think he's got 2 other medals, Vietnam veteran. And I seen he had to live back in the lake when he got back from Vietnam and back in Lake Field because he couldn't be around society. So he was in a lake you could only get to by boat. And I remember him waking up when I was there as a kid in the middle of the night, sitting outside, and it got to him.
Yeah.
So I want to help people like that.
Now, Mr. Johnny, tell me about PTSD. I know it's a disorder that a lot of veterans you pop up. Is that one of the main?
Well,
deals that's kind of getting with the veterans?
Let me explain it this way. Medically speaking, in the psychiatric DSM-5, we are evaluated by that in the VA. Now, the DSM-5 is the mental disorders. PTSD has no business in the Veterans Affairs because PTSD warfare is totally different from PTSD Katrina.
Right.
Let's look at it from that
It's
aspect.
2 different types of trauma.
2 different types of trauma, and the trauma of a veteran will never compare to what they evaluate them as.
Right.
Now, so we've got to make it known that in PTSD, that to subside all of the deaths that we suffer in suicide and recklessness of homes, of how they treat the family, of dysfunctioning work habits and stuff like that. Those things do not go away for a war veteran or a woman that is a war veteran that understand about her children, that what she is passing on down to her children mentally.
Right.
Not physically, mentally. So in PTSD, they have to recognize that there are different variations of post-traumatic stress. All right? There are 6 different variations. How many of us are evaluated on those evaluations of post-traumatic stress? You have dementia.
Right.
you have delirium, you have vertigo, you have post-traumatic syndromes, those things like that. If we recognize that within the veterans, then we can look at how to evaluate and give them the right decisions of help in PTSD.
Right. Because I'm assuming that a lot of these people, these veterans, they don't even have the money to get assessed or to be looked at to where, okay, they're suffering from some type of this disorder, not just put them in a bubble and say, okay, no, just a Band-Aid on the problem. We can really use these funds to really narrow down and really give them the medication or what they actually need to help them. Is that what?
Yes. Let's take post-traumatic vertigo.
Okay.
A lot of your Navy veterans, post-traumatic vertigo.
Now this is the swaying back and forth from being on a ship for so long.
Unbalanced, yes.
Well, and we will get that if we go on a cruise, but 3 days later that goes away.
It goes away.
For a veteran that's been on a ship for his whole life, he's like this forever.
It's an illness that he cannot remove.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so it has to be treated through the VA if he's recognized, but they don't recognize that. Mm-hmm. In the cancers that we have, a lot that's passed down through our genes is coming from 50 years ago, from Vietnam era veterans. And they give these presumptive diseases to them to recognize, okay? Mm-hmm. But some they don't.
Right.
And some are major. Yeah. Strokes, colon cancer, heart attacks.
Right.
Not recognized.
No, because any run-of-the-muck person could suffer from that. However, if you're dealing with PTSD, you're dealing with the vertigo, it kind of accelerates these things.
Even like the cancer with the Agent Orange, right?
Yeah, with Agent Orange. We're speaking on Agent Orange. Let's speak on Agent Orange.
Okay.
That herbicide right now is being recognized through the public, which we call Roundup. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Same thing with Agent Orange.
Right.
So why is it that we recognize and pay for that, and we don't pay all of these veterans that are affected by the herbicides that were used during the Vietnam era war, and that they cannot receive the proper benefits for that injury? Now, here is another big factor in that herbicide. That herbicide was not just used in Vietnam. It was tested and used at all, well, I'm not going to say all, but most of our bases here in the United States. Mm-hmm. So why are we not recognizing that the contamination of that is here? Right. In our own soils.
Well, I mean, you see commercials all the time with asbestos. You see, all kind of people working with different type of chemicals. Yeah. That makes perfect sense that the people that sacrificed everything, you would want to give something at least back to them to help them make them right, or even like that.
Or make them feel good.
But this is why we're coming together, guys like yourselves and you, and you almost have to do something kind of out
extreme.
There, corny, extreme, exactly. And that's why I was like, well, man, if you're willing to start at you're saying the World War II Museum in New Orleans, okay? Yeah. And I think Louisiana is a great place to drum up this because not only we have the culture and we have the people that are willing to make the I don't want to say idiots, but really just put themselves out there. The people in Louisiana will do it. When there's,
we're the only state that has a shape to it.
Look,
we have a definite shape. Yeah. We can kick you with it.
We kick ass. That's we're shaped that way. Yeah. So we kick
Put
ass.
That boot out
but
there.
I mean, when there's, when New York had the Superstorm Sandy up there. Yeah. We had the Cajun Navy. They packed the gumbo pots and they up there.
That's right.
We're willing to help.
That's right.
So I'm thrilled and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help you on your journey.
Yeah,
we're going to start some YouTube channels. We're going to start to do some videos. We're going to do all kind of stuff. But tell me about the events that you got coming up. I know March 19th, next Friday, I believe it is. Y'all got some benefits. Tell me about that.
Spar Seafood is donating 200 plate lunches for us to go and feed homeless. Okay. And while we're there, Mr. Johnny can take over on this, but while we're there, any of them that are veterans that allow us to, we're going to interview them for the kickoff, part of the kickoff for the bike ride. Okay. Then April 1st at probably 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll be leaving from the World War II Museum off on my journey. Okay. And from there, I'll be taking Old Spanish Trail to 90, following 90 along the Gulf Coast from the Mississippi State line all the way to Pensacola. Now, once I get to Pensacola,
Pensacola, Florida, y'all.
Let's go to Florida.
Not Pensacola, Louisiana. I don't even know what they have. No, this dude is actually going to go all the way to the point of Florida, right?
Key
All the way
West.
to
Key West. I'm going to follow through Panama.
You can't get any more couillon than that.
Yeah.
Hey, let me help him out on this here.
Yeah,
Now,
go ahead.
What we need for these podcasters to do for us is to actually track him on this journey, on this 1,500 miles, so that every spot that he has a break or something, that he is welcome there.
Yes.
And help the support system build up to give him that encouragement and the knowledge that someone is recognizing that this one guy is doing this big deal.
Exactly. Like, so, I mean, if you go, I mean, I don't know how long you go on a stretch, you know, that you can take.
Well, it's going to be from city to city. Whenever I get to a city is when I'm going to do my field work.
Okay.
I'm going to get a hotel, a cheaper hotel while I'm in the big cities. That way I can get out and talk to some of the homeless shut-in veterans and maybe buy them a little bit of food and maybe.
And the cool thing about this is you're going to document the whole thing. You're going to have GoPros on you. You're going to be talking to people and documenting your whole journey there.
I want to hear some of the stories of these guys on how they ended up in the position that they're in. Do they know about some of the things that the VA and other organizations are out there that they offer to help?
Right.
Mr. Johnny helps a lot of them that are shut in that don't know about these things.
Exactly. There's a lot of programs that are out there to kind of at least get you started that they don't know about.
And if they don't know about these programs, I'm going to introduce and put them in touch with either Mr. Johnny or someone else that he recommends that can help them.
Right. So it's not just a I guess a pilgrimage just to do. You actually going to beat the streets. You're gonna when you're in there and talk to
I'm
these
going to the
veterans.
deepest, dirtiest, darkest places for some of the homeless and find them and let them know you are not forgotten.
Yeah.
A group of people, my backers, who's been helping me, and the other general public that's going to donate into this situation. Apparently, if they're willing to even put $1 into either the After the Mission or Rick Fit Extreme, they apparently have not forgot about our veterans.
Right.
So these veterans think that the public has forgot about them, especially the poor guys came back from Vietnam. They were spit upon.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So we want them to know, look, there's many Americans out there that want you to be treated better.
Yeah.
How do you know about these programs? And if I may ask them the question at the end of it, what would you like for the American people to know on how to treat veterans coming back better? What would you say? And that's going to be part of one of the things I'm doing. I want them to know that they are not forgotten, and that they are still loved and cared for, even if they're in the deepest, darkest places. I'm probably going to go to some of the places that most people wouldn't go by themselves because I have a background in MMA. I've worked in the French Quarter, security, bouncing, and bodyguarding for the last 20 years.
You're prepared to do this.
There's not many. There's not many cities. Maybe Chicago that might be worse than New Orleans.
Right.
And I've walked those streets of New Orleans at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. Working in the clubs and stuff when I was back in the day, and I've seen things. You know, so I'm not scared. I'm always looking around my surroundings.
You got eyes on the back of your head.
I'm comfortable going into these locations and doing this. I'm not scared.
Right.
Because that's the ones who really need our help. I'm looking to also reach the ones who are like my buddy Eric before he passed away, shut in and just giving up hope.
Right.
I want to go and give them a little light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit warm food, buy them a set of clothes, and say, hey, look, we love you. We care about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't give up.
Point them in the right direction, too. Yeah.
Part of some people like Mr. Johnny who's educated in these things.
And like Mr. Johnny said earlier, when you're on this, we're going to, kind of like keep a little tracker on you and say, hey, I'm crashing in Slidell. Well, maybe the local Canes over there might say, hey, man, I want to buy you lunch. Come on in. And then they get tagged on it. And it's just everybody can get involved along the way. You know,
we want to increase that tag. So by the time he reached Florida, Florida's prepared to receive him. Down because Florida's the largest.
We'll have the media down there. Everything. You've crossed the finish line.
I've already got people in Key West talking to the news. That knew me from Facebook.
Okay.
So they're working on that, but we're going to try to contact them as well. Also, eventually, when all the things open back up, I want to do one more MMA fight. My opponent's already on board. We just got to wait on the Civic Center to be able to sell out. And all the money from me and my opponent's fight purse, we're both going to donate to the nonprofit as well as the winnings. And I'm going to do the same with all my commission on my ticket sales. So that night, and Justin Vernon, my promoter here, he's going to make that a veterans-based event.
Okay.
So we're going to be thanking the veterans all night, and he's going to donate a percentage of the ticket sales for the event as well to the nonprofit. So my next and last fight will be that night. I will be fighting for those who fought for this country.
Yeah.
And my opponent's on board as well.
Awesome. That'll be your last fight or what?
I've been saying that for 20 years. I've retired and come back more than Balboa.
Oh man. Well, I mean, yeah, if you still got it, then you get,
Use it.
Use it, exactly.
Well, of course,
I'm 73 years old and I'm still using it.
Still kicking, huh?
Still kicking.
well, I live a very healthy lifestyle. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't really go to the late night unless I'm driving clients around.
Right.
I watch what I eat. My worst thing is ice cream. I can't put the
You
ice
got
cream
to,
down.
man. You got to live a
Yeah,
little.
something, yeah.
So every time after I ride 50 miles or more per day, I have 2 Haagen-Dazs chocolate peanut butter ice creams. That's my treat.
Yeah, but I mean, working out like you do, you burn through that like it's nothing.
Actually, everybody's telling me I need to fatten up a little bit before I take the bike ride. But
Yeah, man, you might cramp up, dude.
I can't do it. It's Rick Fit, not Rick Fat.
Yeah.
Rick Fit Extreme.
Yeah, but I mean, well, let's talk about the journey. I mean, how long, what mile stretch is that?
In the beginning, it's once I finish with all the zigzagging and stuff to locate the veterans, it's going to be about 1,500. Just
Okay.
to Key West, I got to go to Cape Cod to do a YouTube show with my bodybuilding coach, my diet coach, Dave Palumbo, where I'm going to jump in his pond and try to catch his alligator.
Okay.
Jay Paul is giving me pointers on how to catch it. He thinks I'm nuts for doing it, but he can't talk. He wrestled a 10-foot alligator. He's more thinks I'm crazy for the bike ride than alligator.
Yeah.
But
It's
I'm
extreme.
I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to shoot across to Miami. I'm going to spend a few days in Miami because I've been there before putting on fights, and there's a lot of homeless there. So I'm going to work some
Okay.
days in Miami, then I'm going to tip Key West. And just saying this, let's say if a bunch of people get behind this, I may take off from Key West and work my way to New York. I don't know where this thing's going to end. As of right now, it's Key West.
Right.
But if we get enough backers, and I'm going to put it out there. If anybody that would be willing to put up a large donation to the nonprofit and give me a challenge, like let's say, canoe to Mississippi back, or canoe to Intercoastal, or walk across the country, try to jog with a backpacker, any kind of crazy challenges.
Little challenge to make money.
Extreme challenges. I will try to do if the money's enough for the nonprofit to
Well,
help
you
the
never
veterans.
know. You might have a couple of couillons in that area that does
Yeah.
a challenge. They say, we'll go do it with you. And then,
Yeah.
you might
Actually,
have another donor that says,
absolutely.
well, I'm a match it,
absolutely.
Whatever.
In
Absolutely.
Florida, there's a strong cycling groups, and every one of them that I've posted and said, let us know when you're coming through. We might ride along with you.
Okay.
And they're willing to help me with any breakdowns and stuff like that. So Florida has been already great with offering support to me.
Okay.
So Florida's the easy part. It's getting from
It's going the swampy, the moving up and down through
Well,
Louisiana.
It's like my father and I are going to go take a ride from the World War II Museum. We're going to pass through Chef Mentor, go over that small bridge because I
Right.
can't ride on interstate; it's illegal.
Oh.
Then we're going to check to make sure there's a good enough shoulder. Don't have to be a perfect shoulder because I'm going on a gravel bike, which
Right.
is right underneath a mountain bike, so I can hit some on and off
get
road
some
trails.
terrain, yeah.
Right. It's just we want to make sure that I don't have to cross any bridges that don't have a shoulder.
I got you.
Because a friend of mine, she got hit by a mirror in 2003 and killed.
no.
I do not ride on the white line like a lot of cyclists do.
Yeah.
I ride way over on the shoulder. I'm not putting my life in somebody else's hands.
Yeah. You can't do that.
Yeah, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can we put a tracker on it?
Yeah, we could. Well, your phone
Yeah,
is
the phone.
your phone will be
there's
a
different
tracker.
apps that I could add people in the cyclist
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, and then you can and you're the little dot and you're going down
Yeah,
there,
yeah, yeah,
wherever and
yeah.
kind of track it.
That's some modern day stuff there.
where's Pitbull?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where's Waldo?
Where's Pitbull?
Yeah, you could do that. But no, that's awesome. And look, like I said, I work for Mike Fazy. He's big with the veterans too.
He's a big supporter of mine.
He donates to that. And when I started working over here, it kind of opened my eyes to. Man, I never really thought about it that way. It's like I know veterans, they do everything, but my grandpa, he was like I said, he was a Marine, and he did his training, he did what he had to do, and he came back. Thank God he didn't have any problems or anything, but he still says, man, that some of my brothers out there and my sisters that served with us, they weren't so fortunate, and they don't. They
didn't make it back, and a lot of them are living, and they're not being treated in the proper care that they should be.
Right.
And we've got to shine that big light on those that are shut in. We have to open that door so that we know where they are.
Right.
Because a lot of them are so far back that they don't want you to know.
Well, a lot of them have a lot of pride too.
Yeah,
they,
the
they
pride,
think, you know,
yes,
and
yes.
I mean, look, forget pride. Check your pride at the
Check your
door.
pride. That's right.
And, I mean, look,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
if you need help, you know, don't feel bad to ask for it. You know, I mean, that's the biggest courage right there to ask for the help. You know,
And hopefully my way to introduce myself to them and to get them to want to trust me a little bit to speak with me on the interviews is I'm going to buy them some food and maybe take them to Uber them to Walmart and go get them a couple sets of clothing or something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to use the money from after the mission, part of it for that. And then
Right.
one thing when I get back from the after the mission stuff, once I am back on this end, I have a tree cutting business. We're going to start going to some of his contacts to shut in veterans who live in hazardous housing,
Right.
where their porches might be falling
Clean 'em
apart.
up.
A tree might fall on their house.
so we
I'm the
will.
tree nader. I can handle the trees.
Take 'em
but
down.
We want to
get the chopper.
chop it now. But we want to go and like fix their porches up and look, give them something to wake up and look that they got something a little bit nice.
Yeah.
Not everything gloomy falling in. Maybe that little bit of hope will help them.
Man, you never. I mean, just cleaning up a house and having the smell of a clean house sometimes it just inspires you to like. Today's gonna be a better day. You know what I'm saying?
Change the vision.
Change the whole mindset.
And we don't want one of these elder, especially the Korean era or even the Vietnam era now. We don't want these older veterans to try to walk outside their house and fall through their porch.
Right.
So Ed Diaz with Cajun Home. Colonel Home Improvements is starting to save extra material right now, and that way when I do come back, he's going to donate a couple of his workers. That's the Colonel Home Improvements to help because I'm not a carpenter. I can destroy anything.
Right.
Me and my Bobcat, you know, listen to the little 2 Live crew on the radio.
Yeah.
You know? But gotta
Two
love
Live Crew, you work a little faster.
Gotta love it, man. You know? But so they're going to help with the rebuilding and making their houses safer and look better.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the trees and stuff like that. And painting, I could do that stuff. But the carpenter work, I'll leave that to the professionals.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, at least it's a little something, man. I mean, dude, you got too much on your plate, man.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I've
It's
got a good team. Though. Look, when you said that y'all would help me with the editing and help me with the YouTube channel and the documentary, man, that just blew my mind. And I've extended it bigger than I ever thought it would be.
Yeah, look, like I said, man, is anything that can help you guys out, bring awareness to, you know, I mean, everybody reaches out to me, hey, man, we got this, and I try to help out as many people as I can. When you approached me and said that, I'm like, man, look, if I can help the veterans out any way I can, I'm going to do it, you know?
Basically, I want to be the racehorse that gets the attention drawn. And after that, I'm going to let the people like Mr. Johnny and some of the other people that have deeper knowledge and insight on the conditions of these veterans to help guide me the rest of the way. I just want to be that racehorse.
You're going to be the cheerleader. You're going to be the cheerleader. You're going to be the one with the
He's going to be
consoles
the
on your
drum
head.
major. If he don't get this band behind him, he has no music.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
I'm so grateful that the new sheriff, you know, he's a veteran. Love him to death. He's amazing.
Yeah.
I went in his office and told him what I was doing. He says, Rick, that's amazing. He says, look, if I can help you in any way, let me know. He says, but look, I'm going to put you in touch with this guy, Mr. Johnny Smith. He does wonders for the veterans. So Tim's behind us. Jeff Landry's a personal friend of mine.
Right.
I always see him. He's a big supporter of us, and so is Joe Waits.
Right.
So we got and Mike Fazy as well. We got good local
You got
support.
a little core. You got a little core to start, and we just gonna make it look pretty. So.
I got more than that. Mike donated to us last year for our health fair. We do a health fair.
Yeah,
So,
Mr. Mike, he always he donates. I think they cook food for the veterans every Friday at the museum and stuff. So anytime he sees like first responders or cops or any type of military people, he picks up their lunch every single time.
Matter of fact, I think we need to mention into this here awareness of our workers that are out here doing this COVID incident. So if we can include them into our veterans program, we need to recognize them too, because know it or not,
right,
a lot of our veterans are those people that are in those first responders.
Exactly.
So we've got to shine that light too also and make that recognition that we have an extreme person here that's going to do the extreme.
Right.
So let's make those challenges go to them too.
Right.
Exactly.
Eventually, like, one of my challenges I want to do, I'm not going to swim it. I've seen a Navy SEAL do it, but I'm not swimming the Mississippi River. I'm going to canoe from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, don't swim it.
Stop. Guys like Paulie said, guys with the name Rocky sink.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Ricky's close to that. But
I heard you could even put a life jacket on and you're still sinking that sucker with the current. I mean, it's so
But this guy's
bad.
swimming. I'm giving my props. But I'm going to try to do 3 or 4 extreme challenges a year to draw attention to this cause.
Right.
Whether it's ride from the tip of South America up to Alaska. It depends how many backers I get. If I get enough backers, I'll take on any challenge that anyone gives me.
Right.
With the right financial backing towards the nonprofit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
I'm up
man.
for any challenges if anybody's listening to this.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? I'm kind of shredding for the summer too. I might have to do a challenge with you. You know, I'm not riding to Florida. I can't do that. My knees are gonna fall off.
Count me out.
Yeah. But no, count me in when it comes to distributing the story, because like I said, man, if anything I could do to help these guys out, I mean, it's a shame because sometimes we'll we don't realize how blessed we have it. You know, I'm in my car and I'm listening. I'm like, man, I got to go pick up my daughter at dancing. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I'm like, then I'll stop and I'll see somebody with a song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? How selfish of me. You know, my problems are so petty.
This
you know?
is the same thing I was thinking when Corona hit, and my VIP services and all that stuff was hindered, and I was back cutting trees because I don't enjoy it, but I'm good at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I should go back to Thailand. And I'm thinking, you got one buddy just passed away drinking himself to death. You got another buddy that needs a heart transplant. Really, Ricky? Like,
right.
Dude, you're 41 years old, and for your age, you're Superman.
Right.
Let's focus on helping people and stop worrying about poor little Ricky.
Yeah.
Let's worry about people who need help.
Exactly. Because, I mean, I think all of us have a purpose in life. And when you find that purpose and you use it to benefit somebody else.
It has given me so much drive to wake up every day. I mean, just yesterday I did 60 miles on the levee, and I seen a lady out there. She was taking a bike down. We started chatting, and I told her my distance. She said, wow, that's far. I said, man, that's just a warm-up. I said, I'm getting ready to ride from New Orleans to Key West, Florida to raise awareness for PTSD and homeless veterans. She goes, wow, how can I follow you? How can I donate?
Yeah.
So people, it's funny because
it's infectious.
I tell people, and I don't say bicycle, they're like, well, what kind of bike you riding, a Harley? I'm like, nah, I'm riding my bicycle. They're like, what? Man, you crazy. I say, yep.
Yep. Well, you got to get crazy sometimes to build awareness.
I get it from my daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna. I mean, we could talk about on the 19th of March. Y'all gonna have Spars donating the food. Y'all gonna be doing this as of right now, tentatively in front of City Hall in New Orleans.
Sacred
Heart. I'm sorry.
If that doesn't work out, we'll be in front of the city.
Yeah,
but we're asking for anybody that wants to get rid of some clothing, shoes, or hygiene products.
Drop it off over there.
To either Body Elite. Well, if it's local
Body
here,
Elite in Houma. Okay.
Body Elite or Powerhouse Gym.
Powerhouse Gym. Okay.
And they're gonna know what to do with it.
So
from
Body
there.
Elite is on Prospect in Houma.
Powerhouse is on West Park.
On the east side. And
the old Piccadilly.
Yeah,
Powerhouse
the old Piccadilly.
Gym.
You can drop off donations over there.
Both Nicole, the owner of the Body Elite, and the guy they call Big Country that owns Powerhouse.
Right.
They're all big time supporters of veterans and backing me on this.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I also want to say how lucky I am that the guy over at BG Bikes, Rod, is coaching me on the gear to buy because I have no idea how to do this.
Right.
So he's been coaching me and helping me pick the right bike, and he's donating a large amount of the bike stuff to help me with it because I believe he's a veteran as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we'll give them shout outs along the way too. So, and then it's all going to culminate on April 1st.
I am chomping at the bit.
You ain't going to bust April Fool's Day and say, oh, nope, I'm not doing it. You ain't going to do that, huh?
No, I was thinking of having like someone call my dad and tell him I got ran off the road by a car or something.
No,
I told him, he's like, "Boy, what the hell's wrong with you? I have a heart attack." I like picking on my dad. He's done it to me all my life, you know.
Yeah, but no, April's a good time. The weather's pretty good.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect. You get probably in the 70s, and you'll drum up a sweat, but not too
I'll
bad.
I'll be camping on the nights between the big cities. I'm pulling the tent with me. I'll be camping on the beaches and stuff like that are legal.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that, to have some time with just being out in nature.
How long do you think it'll take you to get to Key West?
If I was going to do it the first way I was going to do it, where I just tried to do it as fast as I could, it would have took, at 65 miles a day, it would take 17 days or less, depending on how many I rode a day.
Okay.
65 days, 17 days. But when you decided to help me with this, and we decided to go with a documentary,
right.
I got so much more I can do to help people.
Yeah.
I'm just...
kind of take your time.
I'm taking 4 to 6 weeks. I'll be out on the bike.
No, that's great because, well, if you leave April 4 to 6 weeks, well, no, I'm not going on my vacation till the end of July. I was going to say if I was passing by you, I would have stopped by and bought you lunch on my way to the beach. Nah, it's all good. But we got to help you along the way.
Yeah, I think that he needs to understand, too, that we have to protect him on this road.
Yes.
The Sheriff's Department is one of the biggest protective systems we have on the road. We also have state police, but each county that he goes through, that sheriff department must be aware of his awareness, and Tim Soignier, we're going to ask him to do that communique for us to protect him on the road.
Yeah.
Because he want to go off 50 miles off the road, off the path, and then come back. No.
Yeah.
We want him to stay as close to the mission and to be able to bring those people to him instead of him going to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In a
bring 'em
safe way, too.
In a
Yeah.
safe
But I'm
way.
sure there'll be places that I pass and I'll see the veterans holding the signs, and and he's teaching me some questions to ask him. And I hate to say this, but some of them say they're veterans and they're not. I want to make sure that they are before.
Yeah.
I mean, if they are just homeless, I'll do
Yeah,
something
you
for
try to
them.
help them, yeah.
But if they're a veteran, I want to show them some real love.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it'll turn into a Forrest Gump thing where people just start
We were saying that, right?
start
Yeah,
going
yeah,
behind you,
yeah.
you know, and start sponsoring you and doing all kind of stuff. But no,
I can't believe how many people have stepped up already behind me, and I'm just blessed, honored, and grateful that people that know me, believe in me enough to know that I'm going to finish this.
Yeah.
Well, I
You know?
definitely do, because I'm not going 1,500 blocks.
A lot of people, that's what they say. They said, well, it sounds crazy, but it's for a good cause. But if anybody
Absolutely.
will say they're going to do
Absolutely.
something and don't care about the beating they take
Right.
to make it work, is Ricky Folse.
Yeah.
He will do it, no matter what.
well, I tell you what, before you leave, you know what, April 1st, I'm gonna go meet you out there. I'll have you a nice handbasket of Boudreaux's butt paste because you're probably gonna need
Yes,
that.
I will. Yeah.
You're gonna get chafed down there, bro.
You talking about Boudreaux?
Boudreaux's butt paste laid up real good down
No,
there.
yeah, because it's going to be a lot of riding.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
I've
riding,
been
a lot of-
chafed before, and it's not fun.
Yeah. Well, we got a big job on our hands, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can get the support.
Well, what we're gonna do is on the DJ Rhett podcast, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna make a donation too for you to get started too. We're also gonna pitch in and do your documentation. We're gonna edit your stuff and
Man,
make sure that you're good with all that stuff.
Y'all changed the whole aspect.
We're
of
gonna
this.
help you
whole
out with
thing.
that, and also once we get the links, to your GoFundMe's and all of that, we're gonna tag you on all of that stuff, and just keep me posted as the stuff goes, and text me, hey man, I'm in Tallahassee, I made it to the timeline, whatever,
I might be in Panama for spring break.
Yeah. Hey, Rhett, I'm gonna take 3 days off. You mind if I go get a couple of honeys on it? Go ahead, bro. Do what you gotta do,
do what
man.
you gotta do.
No, but man, I appreciate y'all coming in, telling me the story. Y'all got anything else y'all want to say before we wrap it up?
Man, I just want to say once again, thank you for teaming
Oh,
up
no
with
problem. No,
us.
thank you for doing this.
You
This is
changed-
all
I
y'all.
want to thank you.
You changed
'cause
it from just a small little, nothing small about it, just a straight bike ride to being able to get out there making interviews, because I don't know how to do anything with editing.
Well,
y'all have changed the whole aspect of this.
On June 19th, we're doing the big summer bash in Cocodrie, and we'll do some donation stuff there too. We'll have a box. We'll do all kind of stuff over there too. So just let's create the awareness. Let's stay together, and we'll post and we'll keep y'all.
really
We'll
thank
keep
you.
everything going. Yeah, no, and anything we could do to help, we'll do it. So.
We will be launching the website early next week for afterthemission.org.
Okay.
I called it After the Mission because I was speaking to my friend Mike, and he was talking to me. He says, Rick, since I'm back, I just don't have nothing to focus on. I don't have a mission. And when he said that, my accountant who's helping me put all this together, Nicole Cantrell, she's done a lot of stuff with Little Wild Wayne and a lot of fundraisers in New Orleans.
Okay.
She said, when I told her that, she says, what about After the Mission? And the light went off. That was the name. But the name of our nonprofit is After the Mission.
Okay.
The name of the YouTube channel is Rick Fit Extreme, because I'm Rick, I'm pretty fit, and anybody knows me knows I'm extreme.
Yeah.
I'm all or none,
Yeah, you 110 or nothing at all.
exactly.
That's it. That's
When
awesome.
I eat one
man.
ice cream, no, I eat two.
You eat the whole box.
Yeah.
You can't
Whenever
stop.
I say, okay, I'm going to buy 5 because they're on sale, and I'll eat them over 2 weeks, they're gone in 2 days.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna post a link on here. So it's Rick Fit Extreme, and they're gonna be delivering 200 plate lunches to for the veterans at Sacred Heart. Is it
Sacred Heart,
Sacred Heart in New Orleans, right?
or either city
Or
park.
City Park, and y'all gonna do the run. The kickoff on April 1st from World War II Museum, right? And we'll try to get some people out there to coach you and get rah-rah you, and as you see you way off, man, and good luck, man. I hope it works out, and I hope everything's good.
Martin Folse is bringing us on Bayou Time next week, so I just want to thank
Yeah,
Martin
plug
for
that. Yeah, what time? That way you.
Well, I don't know. We're going in at
10 o'clock.
8:45 in the morning,
Okay.
but I don't know what time it's going to air.
I think he usually. Y'all go on Monday?
Yeah.
And do it? Okay, yeah. He usually airs that, I think, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday during the week. So y'all be able to see that in the story. So Thank y'all for hanging out today.
Thank you,
I
Rhett.
appreciate it.
No
Thank
problem,
you.
man.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. And we'll see y'all next time on the DJ Rhett podcast. See y'all later.
The DJ Rhett Podcast.
That's your mom and them.